everybody, and welcome to another edition of Poland Daily Travel. I'm joined by Philip Goss here at the Solidarity Center in Gdansk. And if you just look around me right now, you will see that we're in the middle of a brand new, or relatively new, modern building consecrated in about 2015. That's when the grand opening was. And designed to look like the interior of a ship's hold. And on the outside even looks more like a ship, which is fitting because here we are located inside the where the actual shipyard was. What's it called?
Solidarity Center.
The Solidarity Center, but the shipyard was called Stocznia.
Well, at
right?
the time, Stocznia is the Polish word for shipyard, but
Right.
it was the Lenin shipyards in those days, later renamed to the Gdansk shipyards.
Yeah, and here we see something very interesting. This is Lech Wałęsa and his group signing the 21 demands which were made against for the workers' rights against the Polish government underneath the Russian, the Soviet rule in 1980. I say all these things, I say them simply because a lot of people watching that weren't born at
Right,
this time and won't know.
And it's important, this center exists so that we can see what's happening, to act as a testament to history and to how the Polish people rose up against their oppressors, which was at the time the Soviet Union.
Yeah, a totalitarian government. They were looking for free speech, for rights to assemble, for rights to better their workplace and their wages, all of the normal things that you look for, against a Goliath. Who would have thought that David could put the stone in the slingshot and hit that giant and even get his attention, much less fell him.
And I think the great irony is, of course, that the workers here needed collective bargaining to bargain against the government, which allegedly was there to represent workers and the labor class.
Yeah, it's a sensational time. And only 40 years ago in history, so not that long ago, and certainly not that much time in the 1,000-year history. 40 years is not a large chunk of time in the 1,000-year history of Poland. At any rate, I think we should go upstairs to the museum now, shouldn't we?
Yes.
Isn't that the next step? Because there's a fantastic museum. You've been to it, I haven't. I
I've
haven't
been
even
here
seen it
a
yet.
couple of times, actually.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's going to be fun. Stay with us and see you after the break. Welcome back. We're here in the Solidarity Museum now. You've been here a few times. What do you think is the overall point of the museum, and does it make it well?
I think the museum's overall point, insofar as I have interpreted it for myself, is to first off show the events of what happened here, indicate why they are significant to Poland, and also how they played out globally and how that fit into the politic of the day.
Very good. And the politics of the day were quite different than now. I mean, we've had, the Soviet Union was a far different proposition to Russia today. And I know people have been saying, oh, I've got nightmares about Russia attacking Ukraine. And I'm just thinking, well, did you have nightmares during the Soviet time every day when there was a threat of nuclear war for
When there
40
were Soviet
years?
troops occupying
Yeah,
Poland.
exactly. People seem to have lost perspective on how far we've come in history. The problems actually are much smaller now than they were 40 years ago. When Lech Wałęsa actually, didn't he stand on this?
He did.
And use it as a pulpit?
This truck was the first podium for the first strikes and solidarity movement.
Yeah, a pulpit in a sense. He was the priest of solidarity, but if you will, secular priest. So he would just stand on this truck just to get a bit of elevation. And well, that's very appropriate, isn't it? Since they were all workers here in the Stocznia, in the shipyard. Yeah. And what do you think? What would you say? I mean, to me, this museum is slightly interactive, but is very similar to the Uprising Museum in Warsaw, capturing your imagination.
A number of museums of this, let's call it design, in Poland. This, as well as the World War II Museum here in Gdansk, the Uprising Museum in Warsaw, the Polin History of Jewish People in Poland Museum in Warsaw. There may be others that are of similar design. I think the World War II and the Poland Museum are quite similar to each other, actually.
Right.
World War II Museum in Gdansk, Poland in Warsaw.
They've got some of the best museums, I would say, in the world, as a collection telling historical stories, and they're just one after another. You know?
Yeah, history museums, I would agree. Art museums, perhaps Poland is
I mean
has a few things,
these history museums.
But insofar as history museums, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because everywhere we look in Poland, whether it's Gdansk or Warsaw or Krakow or any other place, there's history around every corner.
There really is, and you're not only Poland being Poland, but its location. It's very valuable real estate, and it's been fought over for 1,000 years and longer. Who would be in charge in this particular part of the world? And we still see that tension between Central Europe and the Russian state, which has been the Russian kingdom, the Russian empire, you name it, for ever since the Vikings founded the thing, didn't they, in Kiev?
True.
All those years ago. Anyway, so thanks for that elucidating and illuminating few words. And I think we'll say goodbye.
Yes.
So thanks for watching. I'm with Philip Goss, who's been to this museum many times. And not only that, he's a friend of the show. And I hope you're enjoying the conversation. We'll see you on the next show from the Solidarity Center in Gdansk. Till then, see you later.